Country road, take me home to the place where I belong. Black Desert City, Melma. Country road, take me home.
The skeleton sang, although Agnew wasn't contributing much to the melody. The road they were on actually did eventually curve its way into the Iron Valleys and through to the Deadlands, so they had the right idea. Problem was that well before that, it went through a narrow pass packed with angry hogs. Holy hogs, that is. Holy Nation soldiers, that is. They were arrayed on the road, flanked by two forts that closely overshadowed the only route through the ore-streaked igneous cliffs that marked the edge of the Holy Nation. "Charlie, magic hands time," Nuke said, which in one way or another led to the skimmers being roused from their sucrose slumber. "Careful with that, hold it sideways or the oil will leak out," Izumi scolded Nuke's new employees. The freed slaves from the mines were jointly lugging one of the security spiders the guild had bested recently. A true tech hunter uses every part of the kill, after all, even the brain.
"This thing is as dumb as a twig,"
Enrico reported from within the spider.
"You won't get any use out of it. No voyeur would stoop to cameras this blurry."
"Shut up, Enrico. I know your scheme with Agent Hammer."
"And yet you get changed beside it anyway. At this point, I think it's your fault."
"I know you've been feeding information to the Phoenix. Admit it."
"You are quite delusional."
"And you are an intellectual turncoat, turnkey, and... Turn off?" Nuke suggested.
"Alas, that his processes were less clogged, he would treat you as you deserve, fleshy princess,"
Hammer's voice said.
"Oh, not you as well. We can't all be in here,"
Enrico complained. "All? Who else is listening in there, you dusty creep?" Izumi demanded.
The questions. Can't we all just get along? I mean, we all agree on one thing, don't we? That Okren isn't real. Okren isn't real! Okren isn't fucking real! And Nako is the best waifu!
Enrico bellowed. The buzzy words echoed around the sun-baked cliffs. "Oh, you little shit," Izumi said, grabbing her whacking pole. But don't get too excited. Shouts and stomps approached rapidly. The Holy Nation troops were upon them. "Got a waifu? Lose your lifeu," one shouted. "What the fuck? Skimmers got through," he added. I should note that this fortified pass led through to the Skim Sands, which was quite the force for peace, as the Okronites didn't want to invade it, and the Empire didn't want to patrol it. Thus the two sides never caught wind of each other. Attempts to establish a deskimmitarized zone had failed, and so Operation Skim to Stalemate had been going on for a good century. It took a genius such as Nuke to realize that victory required that your operation name at least half rhyme. Alliteration wasn't apt to add absolutely any avail. In other words, the skimmers killed the Holy Nation soldiers. After the mess was cleared up, they still had the matter of fort walls lined with archers to deal with.
"I have a present for you, princess,"
Hammer said as the guild sized up the situation. "Not now! Where's the volume control on these damn spiders?" Izumi replied.
"Oh, you'll want to hear this. I have a map of the enemy base. Here, look into this poor creature's eyes, and you'll see it."
"Bullshit." "I'll do it," Nuke said, grabbing the spider and sticking it in his face.
"Not my precise tastes, but I'm a modern machine. Let's dance. Here, the gates to their fort. And the password, if you like."
That seems kinda legit. Nice. How do you have this?
"A gift, an apology from a mutual friend."
It was pretty suspicious, but the map checked out from what they could tell. It was possible, it seemed, to get inside the fort about halfway down the gauntlet of archers, at which point they could hit the walls and secure safe passage. But to win once they got inside, they needed the skimmers to make it in.
"The approach will not be easy,"
Hammer explained.
"You're required to maneuver straight down this trench and skim the surface to this point. The target area is only 2 meters wide."
The voice sounded a little strange, but that was the least of the guild's concerns. The gates are only 2 meters. That's impossible, even for bloody elves, Elena said.
I got the skimmers to go in the labs back at the last fun party. They weren't much bigger than 2 meters. Nice labs they were,
Els said. So, a plan was hatched. As fortune would have it, the trench run was quite easy on account of a stir at the gates around 2 in the morning. You see anything out there? Sandor said to Nuke. Nope. Exactly. Attack now! That's some abstract-ass strategy advice. But I guess I'm bored of waiting. Punch it, Charlie! The skimmers, who had been carefully briefed on the operation by their wrangler, were released. They raced for the gates, and found that indeed what Nuke couldn't see really was helping. That is to say, the gate guards were entangled with a gang of barely visible ninja. Even Okran casts a shadow, Sandor quipped. He'd probably been waiting to say that for a while. Regardless, the guild followed along behind the skim squadron, and using a little force, they got the skimmers in through one of the fort gates. The walls were swept clean of defenders as easily as a skimmer dusts sand over its eggs, and the remaining troops hanging around the barracks didn't do much better. After a good hour, one side of the road was secure, and it was likely safe to carry on home, but from the adjoining fort, a voice boomed. You slimy fag nuggets! Okran's pistas are ruining offie with ya, you credit-managing fags! Prepare to face the wrath of me, Big Stick Valtenna!
Shit, sounds like we better compare sticks right away,
Rick said. That's the High Inquisitor, the other one, Pierre explained. He must be the biggest billy in the Nash after Seda. Then let's go cut him and his stick down to size, Nuke said.
You's obsessed with sticks out here. Was it always like this?
Twitch asked. Sir Twitch, so naive. You can't have read the classics, can you? Isaiah said, before joining the skimmers in a trip across the road into Fort 2 the Inquisition didn't expect you. As night turned to morning, this additional battle proved to be more involved than the first, as the Inquisition were elite warriors. Clearly their particular style of questioning had just so happened to lead to a fair few fights. Now, being an elite warrior doesn't help all that much when you're being eaten by a beast the size of a building, but the much talked about sticks wielded by these hogs were indeed rather long. Many of the skimmers got seriously sliced in the fray and had to be dragged away by their ovular master. In the hours-long grind, many guild members got similar treatment, but with the fort's garrison withering away, High Inquisitor Valtenna couldn't last forever. At long last he slumped over backwards and into Nuke's arms. Fuck, you're strong and sharp. That scent, so sweet, so forbidden. Don't matter if you're a little older than me, Valtenna muttered as his vision failed him. Ah, well, wait till you learn the truth about that one. Stirred up my girlfriend, that's for sure, Nuke said. Girl? Friend? Okran? How can you tease me like this? And with this devastating disappointment, Valtenna's dream of meeting hot singles in his area was extinguished. But don't feel too bad for him. The jails of the Empire had plenty of what he was looking for too. With his defeat, the fort of Okran's shield had been captured, and the road to the United Cities lay open to all. The guild wouldn't be using it anytime soon, on account of their various immobilizing injuries. Doc Wadston went around giving out free samples of his services, and the tech hunters knew a few things about cleaning wounds these days. I don't really get it. Let's put it this way, what kind of swimsuit would a bacteria wear? Nuke asked Izumi. No, they don't wear anything, Izumi claimed. Now that's degenerate. Wait, Gas Girl and Bacteria Boy! What a pairing! With this, Nuke went to discuss important academic matters with the mangaka class. Well, if it was a way to educate the world on the importance of hygiene, then Bacteria Boy's infectious charm and hardy disposition was just what everyone needed. And if you couldn't get enough of him, just wait until you learn about self-replication. Not everyone was in such high spirits. Amid the chaos of battle, poor Beep had been upended by a Naish greatsword and was now down to one leg. When Gustafsson found her, he gasped and rushed to her side. "It is gone," he said. "Oh no! Beep!" Beep said. "This is brilliant!" "Oh yes! Beep!" "The transformation is beginning already. The mortal matter is shed. At last you will ascend to be a timeless machine, like a true queen." "Beep?" "Yes, Beep." "But Prince, I cannot walk." "This is your destiny. Now you must ride me." "Oh, I'm so happy you want me to ride you. Beep."
They ain't even playing Wacky BG, and they're freakier than Fleshy Fridays down at the Stimulus Center,
Neil commented.
"Don't worry, degeneracy parasite, theory goes. Innuendo inoculations in development,"
Rick assured him. Gustafsson hauled Beep over his shoulder and went to hum and hiss at his fellow hivers strewn across the field. While everyone else was preparing to leave, Izumi got back to business with the overly sentient spider bot. "You think this gets you off the hook?" she said.
"Oh, you're back. Did it go well? I was right, wasn't I? You could at least thank me,"
Enrico said. "Thank you, huh? It wasn't you who got those plans, was it?"
"Oh, if it wasn't me, then who?"
"In this day and age, who can say? Perhaps it was those superluminal millipedes," Izumi posited cynically.
"That would explain everything. It all hits,"
a new voice said from the spider. "Professor Io, I knew you were in there!"
"Whoops. Sorry, Enrico baby. I got too excited." "Don't worry, Sweet Chips. Happens to me all the time,"
Enrico said. "Io, did you tell the Naish how to tame monsters? You leaked our choco bread recipe, didn't you?" Izumi asked.
"Yeah. No problem, right? Science is for everyone,"
Io said. "No, that was my science! I went through more shit than you can imagine getting all my data, and I won't have you and your Deutsch dog just giving it away!"
"What is this nonsense? Your science?"
Enrico shot back.
"We are talking about knowledge that can save this shitty planet, and you think that you are the only one who gets to do anything with it? You aren't so special, princess. I could have made those discoveries too if I had an army of underpaid drug addicts at my disposal. I bet even this stuttering screensaver Io could have done it. Get over yourself before we start building the Azumi was a total Schweinhund memorial hospitals and all that shit. This is science, not the game of empires your stupid friends are playing."
Izumi was speechless in the face of this scolding, yet feeling she had to say something, replied, "My friends aren't stupid. Let's leave it, Enrico." The call was over, and so soon was the guild's stay in that bloodied fort. They set off home in the afternoon, Valtenna in tow, but there was yet another voice echoing around the cliffs. I say voice, but it was more a series of screeching sounds with an electronic texture, as if made by a skeleton.
"You'll see what machines do to us, you fools!
It eventually said, before returning to a few more weird noises, then cutting out. "Holy Nation is a strange place," Isaiah commented, but actually there was something to all this. A Second Empire spider soldier emerged from behind some rocks and charged the guild. "Is that? It's obeying that voice," Elena said. "They can control the robots too now? We gotta kill them faster, man," Nuke said, drawing his sword. Luckily, the whole guild was trained in the tuck and twist technique, so the spider was deactivated in short order. It was then added to the pile of junk the guild was dragging behind them as they set off into the desert. They spent the night encamped under the starry sky, and the next morning pressed on into the Empire, next coming to a halt at Trader's Edge. There, the hefty bounty on Valtenna could be collected in full. "Incredible work, Prince Teshino. The Empire salutes you," the samurai captain working the front desk at the police station said. "In that case, you want to do me a favor?" Nuke said. "I'm at your command, Your Highness." "Nice. Well, you see, a while back I got into some shit around here. Me and my friends got picked up by those damn manhunters, and we went through a whole thing that was generally shit. Those bastards are probably still here, so my order to you is round them up and throw them in with the hog." The samurai did not hesitate. He grabbed some troops, went outside to the gate to where the local manhunter crew were staking out passers-by on the main road, and gave them a good old-fashioned roughing up. The guild were all too happy to help drag what remained back to be thrown into the jail. Shit, that felt good. I forget I'm like in charge of all this sometimes, Nuke said.
Only because you've earned it, Prince Tashino, Isaiah said. And now you're putting that power to good use. I wonder if those animals will get bought up by their comrades. That might change their mind about the whole thing, eh?
Speaking of changing minds, let's get back to the lab soon, Izumi said. Once we get the truth about the Holy Nation printed up, we can silence those Okronites for good.
Yep, we're rolling out, Nuke said. And as a special treat, let's leave the Scroops here. I've ordered the samurai to take good care of them. About time people started getting to know the heroes of the Empire. Thus the skimmers were left to liaise with the terrified citizenry, while the guild finally plodded on home. Aside from the publication of deets on the social experiment gone wrong, gone sexual, that was the Holy Nation, there were lots of things to attend to. Gustafsson, for example, was quick to gather up his posse in the barracks, where he dug through the guild's disorganized piles of junk until a treasure was unearthed. "Leg!" he proclaimed, echoed by a chorus from his followers. He held aloft an old robot leg, which he promptly affixed to Beep's hip. It was quite a lot shorter than her remaining natural leg, but she seemed delighted with it all the same.
"Now I can practice my beep even more! Beep!"
she said. This was apparently a good thing. While this was going on, Izumi was having words with Agent Hammer.
"You slimy fug, did you tell Enrico or Io how to get spiders to attack people?"
I thought you would be impressed that I worked it out. The data was all here. Yes, I did inform Enrico, for it all needs to be archived. We needn't go over his little outburst about the commons of science, need we?
"But he let the Holy Nation have that, and they sent a spider to attack us. Maybe you could keep your ports shut for a while before you go giving our enemies dangerous weapons."
My ports open and shut at your command, my lady. I'll make it up to you. Oh, but on the subject of dangerous weapons, you did collect those uranium samples, didn't you?
"Yeah, Nuke smoked some of it, but we've got it."
Fascinating. He was made for you, darling. Now, let's make you Queen of the Spiders, shall we? By that, he apparently meant that he was going to reveal how to reprogram old spider bots, which could be tested at once on the spiders the guild had hauled home from their adventure. "Alright, plug me in," Rick said. Yes, the process required that one of the skeletons be used as a peripheral to the spiders. The mangaka class sat on the stairs on the tower where the spiders were being stored, sketchbooks in hand. The plug, by the way, was wireless, but drawing abstract, mostly invisible things was the class's foremost skill. "Oh man, these spiders hate humans. Damn, look at all these logs. You racist, man. You real racist, even for a machine that kills folk based on the race," Rick commented.
"Alright, Rick, you ready for the injection?"
Izumi asked. The artist's corrupted eyes were positively glowing, but this turned out to be referring to a code injection. It wiped the spiders clean, then poured new material into their heads. Electronically and invisibly, you understand? Basically, the spiders whirred to life and didn't kill everyone, so that's pretty much mission accomplished.
"That AI actually did it," Izumi commented to Nuke.
Well, that's its thing.
"But it was meant to be my thing. Guess if I listen to them and forget about it, I don't need to feel bad, huh?"
Not like we're gonna forget all this is happening because of you, is he?
"It's not just me. They were right. I mean, it's you as well."
Well, if it is, that's cool.
"Yeah, I should be more like you. I should be doing this because it's for the good of everyone."
I'm doing this because my dad kicked me out for being too high at the dinner table."
"Oh yeah. I'm glad he did that then."
Man, so am I. Let's chill out for a bit, huh?
"Sure, but what about the spiders?"
"They'll be fine. Here, do you know why this green is glowing these days?" Outside, the spiders were having fun stamping on Rick's tin humanoid figurines. "Guess I missed something, but that's close enough," Rick shrugged. Thus, the guild had some spiders to help them out around the farm,
which was quite appropriate as the whole Spiderbot line was originally manufactured for just such purposes, with all kinds of attachments fitting on their long arms and little spray nozzles for fertilizer lining their underside. Once you tell them that the fertilizer isn't to be made from human corpses, they become rather handy machines. More handy machines were on the way. Decoding of Second and even some First Empire data was unveiling new marvels to test out. The latest project was coal mining to be used in steel firing. Such things were all vital components of the ultimate research project that Agent Hammer had in mind, although he hadn't revealed the full nature of that to his fleshy work hands. Nuke was regularly up in Black Scratch, trying to get people addicted to either green or brown so that he could get a steady supply of the parts they dug up. Thus, Manksand Canyon gradually accumulated both the knowledge and the means to change the world. They didn't plan to stay for long, as the skimmers were eagerly awaiting their return, as was the Holy Phoenix. They stayed only as long as it took to build an enormous boring machine that could drill down into the manky riverbed, revealing veins of chalky sediments below. All very uninteresting, but when the first samples were hauled up for analysis, Gustafsson came bounding over.
"This is it!"
he said, grabbing some of the wet gravel and smearing it on his face. He wordlessly worked to cover his entire body, while the others watched with a mix of embarrassment and fascination. Once he was fully coated in the whitish paste, he turned to them and said, "The time has come." Whatever was this about? We'll get back to it. It's not all that much weirder than it was already, I assure you. And if Gustafsson's creepy business could be swiftly concluded, the showdown with what remained of the Holy Nation awaited.